one thing I realized when I had a little 6-month-old granddaughter is how much she loved to touch texture. And that's one thing that spurred me to start making things with texture for her. Evelyn loves to run her fingers along things with texture. And even as a young child laying on her blanket, I'd find her starting to scratch these little squares. So that's when Annie came up with using charm squares to make a little quilt like this.
You can also make a little block. And the fun thing about doing this is you can try different stitches on each charm square, and so it's a great way to practice with texture magic, trying the different stitches, different threads, different things, and when you're done you have a useful project to use it for. It's not just, you know, scraps of fabric that you're going to throw in a corner and not be able to use for anything.
We lined this with Minkee. Actually, we backed it with Minkee, and the Minkee makes it very, very soft, and it becomes a wonderful gift, this is called Little Charmers because of the charm packs we used.
And babies love also just all the different textures around here. I also had someone at a show give me a wonderful idea to make what they call fidget quilts for people who have Alzheimer's or people who are in old folks' home, because they talked about how much they love to touch things that have different textures. And so if you took something like this and made something small that could perhaps hook over the handles on a wheelchair or a walker, I thought that was a really good idea for something to use with your scraps of texture magic, all the different textures that they can feel. I had never sewn with Minkee before I made that blanket, and I love the look of Minkee, I love the feel of Minkee, but sewing it was a little bit of a test because it really is stretchy and it goes all over the place. So I took some of the samples I have, and as I was working it, I thought, I wonder what would happen to Minkee if you texturized it. And that's what I did on this little owl. I love the way the Minkee took the texture magic took the Minkee and made it look like feathers. The other beauty of it is because the texture magic stabilized it, when I went to stuff this little owl, it maintained its shape. It didn't keep growing like the problem I sometimes have as I stuffed it. But you could do it in regular plain cotton fabric, and that has a great texture to feel too. But with the Minkee, it's just a really soft kind of feathery look.
This one's called Hootenanny, and this is Little Charmers.